And welcome to Racing, Pacing, Chasing, Season 2, Episode 21. I'm Aaron Bain, joined by Rocky Butterworth. Welcome, mate.
How are you, mate?
We're back to the usual format, just you and I to talk racing.
That's the way it should be, mate. We only bring the others in just to keep them employed.
We haven't had our say for a while, you and I. We've sort of been kept pretty quiet.
Well, I thought that during the week that we've been good blokes and listened to the...
I thought it was good. And
to the powers.
2 weeks ago, obviously, for those that have missed the show, we had the panel of five. We had Chris Hartwick, Wayne Hill, Toby Ryan and Ryan Horrick. That got well over 6,000 views in the end. And then last week as well, we had George Fiarchi from the chairman of the HRSA board come on, and that cracked 2,000 views, I think. So certainly the people are listening, the feedback we're getting is very strong. But I'd like to open.
Yes, mate.
Because my stance has been questioned a little bit in recent weeks.
Has it?
And he knows who I'm talking about. He asked me to make my position very clear, right? Ryan O'Horick.
Oh, right.
Right? And it's not his view, it's other views, that me sitting...
Is he going to talk to you Saturday night?
No, we're good. We're good. We've had it. We've had our dummy spit. He did say to me, don't shoot the messenger. Right? And it was... But I want to make something very clear.
Yes.
I sit on this show and host this show with you to give our views on the industry we love. Right?
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm a trainer here in South Australia myself. We also have a business, and we call it Aaron Bain Racing, and it's treated as a business. Yes.
Yep.
It might not make the money that we, for a viable business. We do it because we love it. Right? Aaron Bain, I'm a trainer. Aaron Bain Racing is the business.
Yep.
Aaron Bain Racing, we want to attract new owners. We want to attract more horses, similar to the model of Summit Bloodstock now, to race them all over Australia. All right? That's always been our plan, always will be our plan. I want to see racing in South Australia succeed. And yes, I sit behind the camera here with you, and we bring our views of how we can turn this industry around, how we can see positive change. I said clearly on the show to George last week, I hope this is the start of change.
Yeah.
Because time and time again, we hear this. Same banging on the door, same sound, same talk. It's just lip service.
Yep.
And I'm sorry I'm having a little bit of a rant because it needs to be more than lip service. And, we mightn't have asked the hard-hitting questions to George last week. Last week was a chance for George to talk. Yep. And 2,000 people viewed it. And I appreciate George and thank him. We thank him for coming on the show. What I am looking forward to is getting him back on the show in 4 or 5 weeks' time, whatever suits him, to ask an update on how the board are going with these steps forward. Now, back onto my situation, and we'll get back to that shortly, with racing horses here in South Australia.
Yes.
Right? Yes, we've sent horses into state, and give an example like Malibu Jack. Yep, we leased that horse and it went across the border. For owners that we've had a good relationship before, won its bonus. That horse has won $12,000 in 3 weeks, picking up its Victorian bonus. We'll continue to do that. Your horse, Eyes Down and Looking, has gone across the border for a complete change of scenery. Yes, hasn't been sighted yet. Rising High has gone across to Alex Ashford. Right, we've got 4 horses working up at the moment to go to Queensland, late July, early August. We'll continue to do that where I see, and we discuss it, you and I, the best return for that horse and that ownership group at that time. Unfortunately, that may or may not be in SA until the current climate turns around. And I'm not going to continue to have our owners, right, cough out money or fork out money and say, run their horse at a loss, right, until we see positive change. But I'll continue to sit here and say how we can change it.
No problem with that.
And I have I hope not full faith, they have the board, HRSA, they have my full support in trying to make change, and hopefully it's more than just lip service. But, right, it is time we see some change. And I say the word change. We cannot sit on our hands and knees and do nothing about this, Rocky. Right? And I hope George is there to make that change that we need. You hear Louis on Mobile Rolling last week. Some of everyone echoed his comments. Right? The board need to start, don't hide behind that survey they said they did, right? And well done to them, that's their line of communication. Come out and spend time with us trainers, right? Come out and see the life of a stable and what actually goes on. Talk to the people, talk to the Ryans of the world, talk to the Davids, talk to the Wayne Hills, talk to the Jake Websters, talk to the Louis Trotters, talk to the Ray Holbens, talk to the Mick Normans who break horses in, talk to the farriers, talk to the fodder store, right? There's just so many people employed in this industry, right? But I hope I've made my position very clear.
Well, we
as an industry, need to stick as one. Yeah, and I might be sending horse into state. That's Aaron Bain Racing business doing that.
Yep.
Aaron Bain, cannot move with my work commitments as a trainer. I want to see this state succeed, right? And yeah, I've gone a little bit longer in this opening than I should have because I wanted to make this stance very clear. I want to see change. But we will do what we have to do to turn our business around, hopefully in time. But in the meantime, let's see that change and let's work for the one common goal.
I agree. For what it's worth, my opinion on what you've just brought up, which was all new to me, made a lot of it sounds like you're justifying what you're doing, and you don't need to do that. What needs to happen here is for people, we've got our own model, and we want our owners to earn money so they can buy another horse. That's the only reason why we do it. We don't do it to make a quid.
So on that, right, my goal, and you know my goal is to have 1,000 owners between now and that's my target of 1,000 owners. Whether that's 1% or 100%, that's not known to everyone, right? Currently we have near on 300. We're targeting just on 300. In the way of 100 Club 2.0, they might own the smallest percent in a horse, right? But our goal is to have 1,000 owners. We're not stopping any number short of that until I get that.
Yeah.
There's new initiatives we at Aaron Bain, or I at Aaron Bain Racing want to roll out, right? Those horses will start in SA and they will be placed for your group to earn some more money, bring them back and race horses more through the system here in SA. We're not getting out. No. I'm not cutting down. We want to expand our model. That's always been that way. Paul Brumby hasn't bought a horse for 12 months, Ryan said. Ryan's down to 15 horses. His model, unfortunately, is a trainer, right? I'm not. I'm a trainer, but we're trying to set up the business Aaron Bain Racing or the brand ABR, and we won't stop short of our goal, right? Well, foal numbers down 50%, 87 horses down to 44. Some of the stats we've said in recent weeks. The going, gone. The list of horses. I've simply facilitated, and facilitated that panel last week to start this conversation. And you know what? We've achieved it because the conversation started with the viewers we've got and why I've had to justify myself tonight.
Yeah, which is great. I would love all our horses in Where the Fox Hat to race in Adelaide. We love going to the trots. But if it means we've got to go to Queensland for 3-6 months, Mildura, wherever, into Melbourne with Albie and make enough money so they can, hopefully the horses can come home and keep racing here, albeit in the harder grade, but they've made their money. And if that's the case, we buy more.
It's a different model, but that's our model, and I've made that very clear. You know, there are horses that suit SA, and there are horses that always race in SA.
Yeah.
West Star Sam, for example, he got sent to us for the new Gawler equine pool. He's grounded in SA, right?
Yep.
That's it. And you and I talk on a weekly basis. No more to be said. I think I've made it very clear. Anyway,
very good.
Let's lead in. That was my justification that Ryan been waiting for a week. So no doubt he'll be straight on.
There you go, Roz.
I hope, if I've missed anything, Ryan, let me know. I'll address it again next week. But hopefully I've covered everything. Now, before we go to a short break, first question I've got, and we might lead into the break with it. Will the fight ever stop?
No.
George spoke about it, and full credit to him, and I think he got a pat on the back from a few people last week. And good interview with George last week. And as I said, I do look forward to getting him back on. And we'll ask some harder hitting questions then. But the fight between HRSA and the South Australian Harness Racing Club, it's a war.
As I said last week, mate, the Constitution should have been changed in 1976 when they realised how big the asset can grow and where it's going to head to with harness racing in South Australia. It needed professionals to take it over, whether that was the government, whether that was private enterprise, I don't care. But it shouldn't have been left in the hands, and it's not having a crack at anybody that's been on the committee at Globe Derby. It is just too big a business to rely on volunteers to do it.
It's an interesting one, and the comment he made last week, and it copped a bit of traction on our comments as well, about people coming back to the track as well. You know, but then you hear that Harness Racing SA only advised them on Thursday or the night after that George come on our show that, you know, was that covering their tracks? What was it? You know, who is it? Whose responsibility is it to let people back into the track? Yes, it is at South Australian Harness Racing Club. It's now Wednesday when we're recording this show. We said we're going to hear an announcement early in the week.
Nothing.
I'm tipping by the time we go to air, or hope that it changes, but we still haven't heard when people are allowed back. Now, not being rude, there's announcements with the greyhounds today, the gallops have made announcements. we've got the 100 Club 2.0 horse hopefully racing Monday. There might be 20, 30, 40 people want to go to the track on Monday, make arrangements to, right?
Don't know if they can come.
Right. Anyway, we'll come back after a short break. We've got to thank some sponsors, the Gawler Harness Racing Club, the Kapunda Harness Racing Club, and many of our other valued partners, Rock. There's plenty more to cover.
Plenty to come.
The intro's certainly been an extended intro this week, but there's plenty more to come. We've also got to find you some winners. We haven't done that for a few weeks. Back after a short break, thanking all our sponsors, as we did say, the Gawler Harness Racing Club. Just on the Gawler Harness Racing Club, Rocky, have we got an announcement in the next 2 or 3 weeks? Not only for the Gawler Harness Racing Club, for Gawler as a whole. That's all I'm saying, but I tell you what, I was in a meeting today.
Yep.
Big news to come out of Gawler soon. Anyway.
Looking forward to that, by the way.
We are.
Yes.
Now, we were just talking about Harness Racing SR and the South Australian Harness Racing Club. The fight, no, it doesn't stop. Where does it end? You got a few interesting facts that you want to, or not facts,
not facts.
Rumours or humours. We're not necessarily saying facts, sorry, but what's being said out there currently. And I rang you on this today and said, tell me a little bit more about this SHIT.
Well, mate, the thing with me is I'm an outsider. I'm a punter and an owner. That's where it stops with me.
Sometimes it thinks like you're a trainer, but anyway,
well, I'm a very good trainer. So my friends are outside of harness racing world, if you like. Yeah. And then there's, obviously the new blokes that I've met. But majority of my friends are outside of harness racing. So they come to me and say, in their job, have I heard this about the trots? And I say, well, I don't know, have I? Let's have a crack. So in the last 5 days of, since George was on last week, which is great, and that's what I say, it generates good stuff.
There's 7,000 views, I'll say again already.
Yeah.
And the conversations are starting.
Yeah, so this is what starts. So then we have George on, and he talks about the debt to
South Australian
Harness Racing Club, yeah. And they're willing to give them 100,000. I hear, and I don't know whether it's true, but I hear today that the Harness Racing Club has lodged a claim in court against HRSA for an outstanding debt of $340,000.
I'm not having any... I'm not putting my name to this, but I'm just sitting here going, wow.
So, as who I am in the harness world, I've got to check with someone else outside. So, mates told me, then I think, okay, I've got to bring someone else, a lawyer or an accountant, whatever. Okay? So, and they both say that's what we've heard. So, I think, okay, well, that's 340,000. George wanted to give them 100,000 to get the licensed premise open, which is great. And it needs to happen sooner than later. But to then go to court for the Globe Derby to go to court and throw that there, how the hell does that get fixed up when one's perception is we're trying to help you, we haven't paid everything, and the other one says, well, we don't want your 100 grand, we want 340 and we'll stay shut.
I got one question on this. How does go back to George's opening line?
Yep.
How does the Cunningham report get signed off if they're currently going through court? Well, when you need the signature from the South Australian Harness Racing Club. And so then the industry can't survive.
Right. So then for me it gets a little bit worse because then what I do for a living in finance and marketing and that sort of stuff, I ask about loans that are out there. And I hear today that the $1.4 million loan to Police Credit Union, they're about to call that in. So I don't know where, how, or what the answer will be. And Globe Derby Club may very well have the answer, but I'm just putting it out there. This is what I've heard, that the 1.4 is going to be asked back by the Police Credit Union and in full. So they've got to find 1.4 million. If they get GIC to pay
this Friday,
bearing in mind, AB, that they haven't been able to meet a $50,000 per month payment since January 2020. Might even go back further, but since January 2020.
GIC or?
GIC that own or that bought and have now got the lease to that land out the front. They haven't paid one $50,000 repayment per month. But somehow by Friday they're going to fine 1.4. Now, if that's set in place and if that motion is happening, I just wish that Globe Derby Racing Club would say, it's all good news, it is definitely getting paid Friday, everybody relax, Globe Derby's going ahead at 100 miles an hour.
But there's other loans on top of that, though.
But there's deafness, right? There's other loans, yeah. The 1.4 will be used to virtually come from Globe Derby, from the owner to Globe Derby over to Police Credit Union. That's how I see that triangle. That's only me thinking that.
Our cameraman's giving us our wind up on this topic.
Yep.
Why don't we put it out there? We come to a panel of 4.
Yep.
We've had George on. People watch this show.
Yep.
Someone from the South Australian Harness Racing Club, and Angela Nolan, she's watched our show.
Yeah, she's good.
You know,
yeah, no problem at all.
Got a lot of time for Angela, and deal with her. If someone there wants to come on our show, let us know next week, right, or the week after.
More than happy.
Come on and let's discuss it, right? And we'll try and not be that mediator, but let's call someone out from the South Australian Harness Racing Club, and the panel answered the call, George answered the call. Let's try and facilitate something from there to just put some of these.
Can I go with the last one? It may be common knowledge, but it wasn't to me.
Well, this one I rang you on. I said, are you kidding me?
And the word I heard Friday last week after George was on, so Saturday morning.
This is just, it can't be
the
right.
money I'm hearing from the Police Credit Union, the 1.4, will definitely be used to pay the credit union, and whatever's left, I think it was 2.2 they paid for it. That other 800,000 will have to be used to stick a shovel in the ground out the front there, because if there is no movement regarding improvements, renovations, building a new service station, whatever's going to be there, I don't know. If they don't start by the end of July, I hear that the Shaheen Group can buy that land for $1.
I'm flabbergasted.
So that happens on...
You've made some big
so
statements
that happens
tonight.
on Friday.
You're probably going to cop a bit of flack.
Look, I'm not doing it to be a big head. I get told these things, so I ask people outside the industry, and they may very well be wrong. Might be 100% wrong. But my case, same as footy rumours, whatever, where there's smoke, there's fire. And if there is, I just wish that they could be more transparent.
You know what to put all this to bed?
Out there.
Communication.
Communication, mate.
Anyway.
So that's it.
I'm flabbergasted. I'm still in shock when I read the notes of today. I couldn't believe it. 2 quick things, because we've got to get to some winners. We've got to get to some selections. The racing program. If I was going to if you had news, brews and barbecues, and we've spoke on news, we haven't brought up a brew yet, but if we're going to barbecue anyone, now I don't know the full story, but I've seen some race dates, right, released for the next 3 months. Someone, anyone, 2 meetings on a Tuesday night in August for Port Pirie. Is that not setting Port Pirie up to fail? Now, when Globe Derby's program's Saturday and Monday, those 2 weeks, and then the Saturday, 4 meetings in 8 days, and one of them at Port Pirie, and then we do that a fortnight later.
Yeah.
Now,
we can probably get another meeting in there by then, mate.
Mate, I hope I'm wrong.
Mildura might be stuck in there on the Wednesday night.
I honestly, borders are shut to Victoria, but they're talking about opening that Swan Hill Mildura. I hope I'm wrong, but seriously, and Ryan, I'm going to mention him again. He said, "Well, I know one bloke that won't be nominating. He may well. He may be forced to with his team. But Tuesday night, get home at midnight, and you're right. Then if you put Mildura in there, you lose 7, 8, 10 horses a week to Mildura. Seriously, there's got to be some finger pointing going on. Honestly, that is just...
I mean, it's great that they've put it out, mate, but it's just, again, communication.
I haven't seen the program yet. It hasn't been... I've only seen the dates. I haven't seen the program. Is there 7 grand races? If there are 2 or 3 grand races, God forbid. Anyway, lastly, before we get to the winners... Yes, mate. The image of Harness Racing SA. Now, when George first came on board, and I was disappointed I didn't ask him last week, but I said, we're going to get him back on, because... we want to hold him accountable and the board to how they're going with some of those updates. Prize money pre-COVID, and the integrity of the sport, the Cunningham report. There was 6 or 7 topics, hot topics that he spoke about last week. But the image of harness racing in South Australia, not only on the track, off the track, yeah, it's an image of racing in general. I like the idea that was posed around there of actually renaming like racing in South Australia, like giving it a new name, you know, Trots SA or what. Like,
Yeah.
glam it up.
Yep.
Like, and there's
You're
a lot.
proud of your product, mate. That's what it.
100%. Now, we love the product, the people that compete in it. You know, the dress codes. Why can't we try and lift it? You know, and
Well, you go to the thoroughbreds, mate, and almost every trainer is in a suit. Now, we don't have to go that far.
just jeans and a nice shirt would be
But
good.
jeans and a shirt, if you're a trainer or driver and you're not in your gear all the time, there's so many ways you make it just look that little bit better. So when people do come out for the first time and wander through the parade ring and the stalls area, it's alive. You know, it's action. It's
You know what they could do?
fun.
You know what they could do to start, right? When they come on next week, change the TVs down the stall area. Like get a few flat screens. Talk about the Constitution need to be signed in 1976. That's when the TVs were put in.
Yeah,
Like,
I watched Car Clue win the Inter-Dominion on that TV down next to our stall, mate. It's true.
I wasn't even a twinkle in Dad's eye, mate. Anyway, I just think there's got to be some work done in there, and I hope part of this cutting and report and part of but I'm really sceptical about the change, right? And I love to be proven wrong, honestly, and I won't care that someone says, "Oh, see that happen." I hope it does.
Yeah. Look, one thing I like, and whether I knew George or not doesn't matter. I just think he's got a football mentality, and even worse still, or better for him, is that it's a Port Adelaide football mentality. And if he can bring that to harness racing and not care, as we said last week, not care about getting blood on the knuckles and kicking some shins, bloody will do it.
We saw that last week when he just we given South Australian Arsenal a club an uppercut.
Yeah.
Anyway, Rob, enough said.
Yes.
It's been another heated program. See if we can crack the 2,000. There'll be plenty of comments, shares, hopefully. That's what we're about. We want to continue that conversation.
Yep.
Now we're calling out the South Australian Harness Racing Club on our show, or someone from there, so we look forward to them joining us. Time to find a winner. We haven't done it for a couple of weeks. It's time now for a bit of 3 wide no cover. Now, we're going to be quick, but this is an important segment. 3 wide no cover. I'm going to throw one out there from absolute left field.
Yep.
2-year-old on Saturday night. Again, this Saturday night, Dale Afford's got 3 in it. Mm-hmm. Tommy got his 4th Tommy's Impact last week on the racing segment.
Is that right?
With race 7, number 7. I think there's a lot to this. I think this horse here, Sharks Courage this week in the 2-year-old. Now, it does a lot of things wrong, hasn't paced at its first 2 starts.
Yeah.
But Dale Afford's no fool, right?
No, he's a good trainer.
Good trainer. I know the horse is ODM. He'll look after it. He's driving himself. The day this horse, it was $1.90 first up. Yes, had the Dale Afford factor because the 2-year-olds are very well respected. Yes, he's got a couple in it. But I think there's a little bit of ability, raw ability in this horse, Sharks Courage. If it does everything right, expect it to run a big race. That pool of 2-year-olds is very even. Soho Bob jumps into the mix this week, which is a good trial winner.
Yep.
Went good for Chris Nielsen around Gawler. Good overall time, good sectionals. It'll be a cat amongst the pigeons, and a good addition to that 2-year ranks. But I've got a bit of time for Soho Sharks Courage.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay,
And 3 wide no cover's about finding the one that doesn't just catch the eye.
that's
This
right.
horse was beaten 223 metres last week and hasn't paced once in a race start yet.
Well, this may be nerve-wracking number 2, mate.
Anyway, time now for Leroy the Lizard.
Yep.
Righto, Rock. Leroy.
He's been on holidays.
Well,
Couple of weeks.
he's back.
Yep. You know where he went?
Where?
Kick it in along.
Kick it 10 along.
He did.
What's there up there?
Tins. 'Cause that's all he can. That's all the possessions he's
I
got.
like his tip this week.
So he just puts them in a can and kicks it up to kick it in along.
On his way back, he saw this horse travelling up.
He did.
Last week.
Yeah, he did. And
This is a nice horse, this horse. And I tell you what, if Aaron Bain Racing as the business could buy it to send it to Sydney, maybe it'd be worth a bit. We'd have to probably buy it in partnership with Summit Bloodstock. But I'm telling you now, we'd be open to discussing an offer.
Oh, he's a beauty.
Grey Maverick.
Yeah, he's a beauty.
It was a super run last week.
I'm a little bit worried though because Leroy said it's the only grey horse in Port Pirie. I don't reckon he knows that. So I'm hoping what he saw was Grey Maverick. But it's run last week or the week before. 58,
No, last week.
Last week, 58-1 they came home in that race. It was a really good race. Sure,
Another 50 it wins.
Yeah, and sure it was 3 fence and it had every right
50,
to run home. But they ran home in 58-1.
Yeah.
And he was flying
But it was the way it hit
in
the
that
line.
last 70 metres. So Leroy, I reckon you got yourself a winner, mate.
Stand start conditions this week. Race 8 on the program. Off the 20 metre handicap.
Yep.
Won't matter. It does begin well. Only a small field. won the Gawler Cup from the stand and just run him off its feet.
Well, they pulled him up at Truro, didn't they?
Yeah.
After the cup.
Far out. He's one to go. Anyway, it's time now for Let It Ride. Now, right, winding up the show, Let It Ride, we have been absolutely woeful across all three codes. I've had enough.
What are you going for, mate?
No, it's your turn.
Me?
Your turn.
You want me to do it?
I want you to do it.
Well, I'll tell you.
You reckon you got all the answers?
I'm going to put my money where Leroy's mouth is.
Where is that?
And I am going to put the charity bet on Grey Maverick.
It's about time someone
Straight
did something
out.
for charity.
Straight out.
I tell you what, I'm with you. I really think it'll go right. But this, if you haven't watched the racing show or the chasing show this week,
Yep.
the racing show, we've got something special for you. We've got our cameraman, for those who haven't seen
Ah,
him,
yes.
doing the robot. We're going to find out who Justin is tonight. He's going to come.
He won first prize at the Barbara Fate when he was 8 dancing.
It's a bit like the WWE when Rey Mysterio and Kane and all them wore masks. You know, we're showing his face tonight.
Yeah.
Doing the robot because Tommy's Impact got 4 in a row.
Yep.
The chasing segment, our man got a return after eating chili on the show last week, and we have a bit of fun.
Won.
He hasn't fronted tonight for recording.
He hasn't got a voice from the chili, mate.
He made a return of 175 from his 100, so if you work it over the 3 weeks, he reckons he's still up.
Yeah.
Right? But he's axed tonight, and I'm going to be joined by Tommy Javor on the chasing segment.
No.
Tommy's Impact is going greyhounds, and I see him over to me left making some notes. So I'm looking forward to that. Rocky, thanks for joining me tonight.
Pleasure, mate.
It's been another great show. There's been plenty of hot topics. No doubt there'll be plenty of controversy from some of your comments. I hope, Ryan, I've answered your call. I do expect if I've missed anything, please tell me and I'll address it first up for you on the show next week.
Hey, and that's what the comments are there for. Don't be stupid with them because we do try and offer our professional opinion, whether people like it or not, and we have a bit of fun in
If
here.
people aren't enjoying it, they wouldn't be watching it.
Yeah, so whatever you think about what we've said, discuss it, whack it on the comments. If you think there's a topic we should cover, put it in there as well. We'll do it if it's possible to fit into our short show. We'll do it.
And if you want to come on the show, we're more than welcome to have you on as well. We'll talk to you about getting on at some time on a topic you'd like to discuss in more depth. Thanks again for joining me, Rob. It's been a pleasure. Thanks to our sponsors. Stick around. If you haven't watched the other shows, jump over and see the racing and chasing segments this week. Great shows coming up. Thank you.